Hello, social world. My name is Yoshi, and I know I look. Oh my gosh. Why I'm here right now today at this moment. This is a small project that I started on TikTok. My story of 2020 has pushed me out of situations where I needed to become my own person because of worse things that could have happened or uh, mental state that I was going to be in, and for the better of myself. Because I kind of grew and stopped letting my fear hinder me from doing everything I wanted to do, I started just pushing myself out there. Putting myself out there in any way and not in any crazy way. I tried to be educated and intelligent about how I kind of put myself out there. I'm trying to help the world learn, educate people by having them want to educate themselves. I'm very uneducated in many ways because I believe no one knows everything, then everyone is uneducated in something in their life because there's always something new to learn. That's how I want to help the planet, by helping people become smarter in their life, understanding individually how to get that control to not overreact with emotion first, but react by thinking of how what they're going to do is going to help them and maybe naturally somebody else around them for their future. Situations have happened where I've needed to leave certain places and this and that. Right now I am doing van living in my Jeep. I'm working at McDonald's and it's pretty hard. Just as well beforehand, before I even left, thinking about it. But since I really have nothing to lose, I started posting everything on TikTok of my story. How I posted it, I don't know how it came out, but I'm creating this video right now just to put all the TikToks together and see for myself how it came out and show you as well what I did and see if on another platform other than TikTok I'll get more viewers as well, because I'm also trying to help myself. I hope you, instead of it, I do hope you enjoy, but more, I hope you get something out of this. I hope you help yourself in whatever way you can. Live happier, live better, live stronger, smarter, or whatever other way you want to live. Yeah. Hey TikTok. My name is Yoshi and I need help. My situation in the place I'm staying in now is gotten to the point where my mental stability has almost completely shattered. I almost have no control over who I am and who I want to be, which is somebody who wants to teach people how to learn, how to get that control and want to live life so that they can be happy. The people who I'm staying with have made it nearly now impossible for me to move out. I have nothing. I have less than nothing. And I had to resort to the last possible option, which was a GoFundMe. And I know I want to help the world, but I first need to help myself. And I can't do that if I'm going to be a slave. Help me live, please. That's actually the name of the GoFundMe. So, from now until however long it takes, I'm going to tell you my story from the beginning all the way till now. No matter if TikTok's gonna be shut down or things don't work out and I end up. Because I have nothing, it doesn't matter because there's nothing to worry about. There's the things I know I have to fix in my life so that I can help myself live longer, like my car and my money situation and keeping my job. But so much bad things can happen that I've thought in depth so much into, it has torn me apart. So telling you my story and what I'm going to do with my life, whatever happens, you like it or not, what's there to lose? Okay, so since I got nothing else to do, it's just that like now I have to wait for me to then be able to do my other projects for reasons that I'm gonna explain later on in other TikToks. I'm just gonna start my story. So from the beginning of 2020 till now and onward, it started out horrific, bruh. I don't know how bad it started out for anybody else, because adding on to this, whatever had happened in the beginning, there was all of my trauma and hurt that I've already gone through. And now I know that I'm a king, that I have to keep going. Damn, I have a big ass forehead. But still, this king is growing from the person that he was. What? So, with all my stress, traumas, pain, worries, fears that can come upon my life now, I forgot to make this video 60 seconds. Shit. Okay, so as I was saying, even with all my worries, fears, pains, struggle, anxieties, past traumas that may come upon my life now, hello? What I have to think about in the future, and what I have to remember to not make the same mistakes, for whatever I have to do, anything, whatever it is, I still choose to live my life, because it's not no one else's. I've already tried living for somebody else. Hello? Don't buy an Android. Living for somebody else did not make me happy. It made me miserable. Upon anyone's belief, now that I'm living for me, even with everything, I'm still happier. I'm so pretty. Oh my god. Straight TikTok, get out of my face, bruh. I forgot to make this video 60 seconds long too. There's not just one thing that goes into living life. You don't just walk. Your heart beats, your blood flows, and you breathe. And I may be no one that may know nothing. I may be wrong about everything, but I have to make sense out of something. And I know 1 + 1 = 2. And I'm stupid enough to love you. Love you and myself enough to keep going. In anything we do, there's always more. Always more. That's how I'm trying to help people learn. Sorry, there's like a stain right there. Having them think just a little bit harder, more in depth about everything. As well, the reason I'm making these first snaps before I'm going to go into my story is because I'm introducing myself, my ideals, I'm opening up, getting comfortable. Yeah? Understanding this. And as well, introducing some people that are going to be in my biggest project I've ever done in my life. And who should I introduce first? Me, bitch. My name is Mr. Mr. IDGAF, but you may just call me Mr. D. I'm supposed to be like that sternness in Yoshi. Not necessarily, because I'm actually just a character that he created, so first of all, you're not even gonna see me on TikTok a lot. Only for my daily questions, because I can't be myself on TikTok. I curse. Have you seen my name? Have you seen my name? I'm supposed to be like, that, just do it. But be smart about it, cause I don't give up. You see me a lot on YouTube though. Okay, so the first question. Oh, you ain't gonna see this. You will never see this again, by the way. Trust me. You will never see this again. Other than like these few snaps. Oh, oh my gosh. My question of the day is, how can someone be sane without being insane? Oh, it's recording. What's up? My name is uh my name is Mobius Fade. I'm supposed to be like the questions. I'm supposed to be the why, what, where, when, how, and why to it all. My best friend is Mobius. My best friend is actually Mr. D. Mr. D is special. Let me pick this up. So, just woke up from a good nap. Check out my YouTube channel, Mobius Fade. Is it? No, it's Fade Television, yeah. The last character I've created is called Tadashinki. Now, Tadashinki, previously known as Tadashi, is not here at the moment for reasons unknown, but you will most definitely see him sometime in the future or in the near present. He comes and goes as he pleases, and he truly doesn't care. Mr. D says he doesn't care, but truly he cares more than you would ever know. Same with Mobius. Mobius is a huge F-boy, but at the same time, he just wants to show his love to the world, towards everyone, not just one person. Fuck no, ew. Now, done with introducing all those people. Whoa, did I just bring back Musical.ly? After introducing them, now I'm going to go a little bit back into my ideals, and then after that, I will go into my story and what has happened into the beginning of 2020 all the way till now and onward. I believe life is about walking with time, understanding individually the issues that hinder you from moving forward so that you can be happy and live longer. And if you don't believe so, you don't believe life is about moving with time, living longer, you could say family, money, yourself. Life is about family, then what? You could say family, but then what are you going to do for your family? If money was the only thing here, and there was nobody else, you had all the money in the world, what were you going to do? Burn it and then play around? Okay, as I was saying, life is about walking with time, understanding the issues that hinder you from moving forward so that you can keep going or you can be happy. You may say life is about anything else. I say life is about generally walking with time, progression. If you say life is about family, money, yourself, a dog, anything else, what are you going to do for your family? What are you going to do to make that money? What are you going to do for yourself? Life is about family. Then what? If you had all the money in the world, all of that power, but there was no one here, it was just you and the money, what were you going to do with it? If there was no one here but yourself, then yourself and or your dog. It's about that thing, but what are you going to do for that thing? So, before I continue on, if you wanted to hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, see my later TikToks, you can find it there. But I have another TikTok because everyone wants a follow back. And I want to give everyone that follow back as well. The people who I'm seeing on my feed now actually help me with my depression and anxiety and my struggles that I'm going through. They help me laugh. And no, not everyone helps me laugh. People have their own personal preferences. I think it's very upsetting that people get angry at me when I try to make them happy, and then I make my own decisions because I want to live also for myself, not only for other people. And it's not a decision that they wanted. I choose what helps me with my struggles in life. All you can do is help me, not force me. So, I have a lot more to say, but I'm gonna leave it for another time. Now getting into the story from the start of 2020. Starting my story, I actually have to go a little bit before 2020. Before the beginning of 2020, I was working on some music. I'm actually a writer in writing books. I finished some books, but the companies that I've tried to publish with have given me terrible deals that would have actually hurt me more if I signed off with them. So that's why I started with music. I thought if I could make something that could publish on YouTube and it was good enough and people liked it, it was interesting enough, it could grab their attention, and I could hopefully make enough money, a liking. I've seen it done before. So I went ahead and started doing my music, but I got scammed. So since I got scammed, I stopped trusting people who told me they were able to help me make music. So what I tried to do, I had people already that could have helped me make music, but I decided I was going to go to school so that I could start a friendship and then trust that person or maybe group of people enough so that I could then again start making music again. I also went for sound engineering so that I could know how to make music myself without relying on someone, but I still was looking around. Because 4 years in college is way too long. I'm trying to get somewhere like this. I know it takes time, but if you're able to do something quick without it having a negative repercussion, then why not do it? If you understand what I'm saying. School didn't help me at all. Some things happened with the people I was staying with at the time. I had to leave a class because the 3 classes I was taking was actually too much on my mind. There was unneeded drama, like I'm good. So before 2020, during the time of 2020, the people I was staying with told me because I was going to school, they wanted to provide in financial needs when it came to transportation. Because I did not have a vehicle and I left my job because I was going to school to help my future. The point of school was to help my future. It wasn't to go to school. So I did find people and I had sessions, music sessions I could have gone to. But the people I was staying with didn't care. They cared about me going to school, which school wasn't the point. The point was me helping myself move forward for my future. For the dreams I had, I wasn't going to school to go to school. I was going to progress. So I needed to look for a job, and I found a job. This job was a call center, and the reason I picked a call center was because the last one paid pretty good before 2019. The first week in the call center was alright-ish. There was a lot of sketchy stuff that people let by. But we stayed there and nobody realizes, oh my gosh, we went on spring break and never came back. I got the job on spring break, right? Then Corona, not Corona, because before the shutdown, Corona was still here. Then the shutdown happened while I was in the job. So the month I was in the job, nothing much happened. They were paying us this and that, but actually a lot happened. Okay. Oh my gosh. So, oh my god. Listen to this. So the month passed, right? That we were, the shutdown happened, all that happened. I was in the job, right? Am I right? And then after a month, the pay cards came in. We were getting paper checks and nobody was allowed to get direct deposit. We were already asked for direct deposit. The job wasn't giving it at all. And this is where we found out that the company we were working for, me and my other people that I went into the job with, found out it was a scam. It's called Arrow Workforce. If you don't know what a pay card is, please look at the next Snapchat, which I'm going to go into detail everything that went on. A pay card is a crappy ass card. Ass. This is a child-friendly server. A pay card is a card that is given to you by a company, usually call center companies. The pay card is where they send your money so that you can then use it. You can either get direct deposit or a paper check. Usually they don't have paper checks anymore. A pay card usually is terrible because they take your money. Pay cards usually, for each and every transaction that you do, there is a deduction. So from the money that you originally make, you're getting your money taken away. And it goes to whatever company. Who cares? You're getting your money taken away. So the pay cards, after a month, oh my gosh, the pay cards came in, and our manager did not tell us the right way about the information of pay card. She actually told us there was going to be no deductions from our transactions that we make with the card. So right there, that's a lawsuit, period. Then we found out the next day when we got the cards that there was going to be a deduction for each and every transaction that we make. Excuse me? The day prior, for some reason, explain to me if this makes sense. She said that today is the only day that you could say no to pay cards. Remember this. She said today is the only day that you could say no to pay cards because we're getting them the next day and the information is going to go through. Okay, so now you know the first and second day. First day, you're going to get the pay cards. Today is the only day you're allowed to get the pay cards. Today is the only day you're allowed to say no to the pay cards. We have to get the information into Rapid in time. Second day, first day, remember, there's going to be no deductions for each transaction. Second day, we get the paper and the information. There's deductions for each and every transaction that we make. This is what we find out. Then, the next day, before this, I actually told the people that I'm staying with that I think I'm gonna get fired. Next day, she told us in a meeting, because we have 30-minute briefing, that the information couldn't go through. She didn't get it through to Rapid in time, but we were still getting the pay card. Also, the day prior, I asked her, can I please have my paper check back? Because I want to get my full check. I do not want money to be deducted from the little bit of money I'm already making. Those petty checks, there's actually in the YouTube video, the movie that I'm making explains everything. After she said to me, remember that there was one day I told you could say no to the pay cards? I was like, okay. So the next day, in OR briefing, I got this on recording as well. After OR briefing, I asked her calmly, after she said that the information didn't go through, can I get my paper check back? She told me, remember that there was only one day you could say no to the pay card? And I said what she just said about the pay cards not going through. After I said what I said about the information of the pay cards not going through, that she forgot to send the information into Rapid or she didn't get it in time, she still mentioned how there was just one day to say no. But it didn't make sense if the information didn't go through. If that makes sense to you, hit me up and explain to me, please. So I was really nervous. Now nothing bothers me, but at the time I was really static because I was going above authority in a way I never had done before, other than with the people I'm staying with. and I started stuttering over my words. She started raising her voice after I tried to mention that didn't make sense what she was saying. Finally, she told me to go to her office, and I walked to her office. More happened, which you're gonna see in the YouTube video. Trust me. So I went to her office and stayed there, and OR briefing happened in another room. So I wasn't bothering the piece anymore. And as well, she said that if any questions need to be said, they could either be asked in OR briefing or in her office. Now, if she never had said that, I would never have asked my question. So, in her office, another coworker asked me, what was that about? I started telling him about the deductions that we found out after she told us that there were going to be no deductions from our check with the pay cards. And I wasn't screaming, I wasn't loud. When she heard me after it was done, it was like quiet. And she came to the office room and said, okay, pack your stuff. That's when I should have known I was fired or I was done, and I should have just went off. What was I gonna lose? So after she told me to pack my stuff, I just stayed quiet. I didn't even cause an issue because I didn't want to give her a reason to fire me. But if I had stayed completely quiet and then downstairs, she would have told me to leave and never come back, and I was never able to say what needed to be said, then nobody would have done what they did afterwards after I left. So after I got my stuff, I started telling everyone, look into your checks, your money's being taken away. When in actuality, a lot of our money was being taken away, which I found out afterwards when I was making the movie. My dumb. She started raising her voice after I started telling everyone, calmly, bruh. Look into your checks, look into your checks. She was screaming at me. It was coming to the point where she pushed me out of the door, putting her hand on my chest. Another lawsuit. So I packed my stuff. She was still screaming, pushing me out the door. Another coworker, the same coworker who asked me the question, he actually it was obvious from the smell and other people, everyone coming around me, we were talking that he would come into work drunk. I understand coming into work high. I've seen people more controlled, but drunk, I've seen people lose that control very easily. He walked me out, and I was really excited. I went on Snapchat and just blasted the company. The people I'm staying with right now, which I'm gonna leave, went and picked me up, and that's that story. So, just see my YouTube video when I post it, because it tells it so much more in detail. So much more in detail, bruh. But continuing on. Okay, so next. Just kidding, I'm being dramatic. After I got fired, I forgot to sign up for unemployment. But I got another job a week and 5 days afterwards. And another thing, the shutdown was going on, but it was like nobody cared. And still so many people don't care. Anything can happen. But actually, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about Corona. See my movie and also the YouTube video I'm going to post afterwards, so you can understand where I'm coming from. Because a 60 second long video, no, that's definitely not enough, bruh. No. Okay? So, the next company, oh my god. After I got fired, the next company I got a job a week and 5 days afterwards was just as sketchy. But I'm not going to get into it because that company is actually way bigger. But what I can truly remember, actually, before I even got the job, one of the main reasons wasn't only because, like, of the school situation that I needed a job and the financial needs that the people I was staying with couldn't, like, no, they said they could, but they couldn't, no, was because I had my first falling out of the year with those people. That's why I got the job. And then my next falling out happened at the next job after I got fired, which I have half of it on recording. Yes. After these two falling outs, I just stopped trusting everyone. Like literally everyone. There's so much more that happened, and there's so much more that goes into detail of these stories. They're talking about me again. I really do hate when people talk about me. Especially when, like, I know me combating anything kind of quote unquote negative, because what I think is negative, you might think is positive, vice versa. When I know if I combat them, nothing's gonna happen, and it annoys the fuck out of me. But back to the story, the job was giving me less than the bare minimum, just like the last job, to pay for rent and to pay for transportation or anything that I could use to move out from this place. Rent in here wasn't that much. Let me not go into detail with what I was just gonna say. But the second falling out happened while I was working there, and my insanity started coming about much more in depth. So I started thinking hard, because I'm not stupid. I wasn't just going to leave with no backbone, no stability, no money. Again, money's not everything, but it's a big thing when talking about trying to save the world or even helping yourself, unless you want to be homeless, which is many people's choices. So the reason I started going insane was because I've been told my entire life that I've been wrong about every single little thing I think about. Every decision I've made in my life, nothing I've done has been right. Starting from my decision to like men, I've been wrong. My decision to not like church, because I believe I'd rather do more than just sit and listen to someone for an hour preach. I'd rather go more in depth in learning. I was told I've been wrong. Now I could go in depth into details of what they believe I've been wrong, what else I've been wrong in, but there will be no point in doing that. Unless I'm venting out, or unless you want to know, that's bringing up the past, and I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to walk with time, because I don't want to be stuck in the same place forever. And I've been told I've been wrong about everything. Everything. And people have told me they agree with me with what I've been quote unquote right about. But I haven't been staying in the same place so that those people can continually give me that positivity. I also don't like technology. I like being with nature or the outside world. I understand we need technology to move forward, but if connecting with someone, I'd rather be outside of it. So it's difficult trying to continually have that positivity from others unless they're not here, if you know what I mean. So other than me not knowing what's wrong and right, because everybody has their own opinion of what's wrong and right, I started thinking about what I can do to move forward instead of being stuck in the past with my anger, frustration, sadness, and depression. My hurt, my pain, my frustration, the things that I couldn't change, I learned to start letting go. But still, I needed to get away because I was still being told I was wrong about everything. That even my decisions to move forward with time and trying to help the world, still helping myself first, was wrong. That it wasn't gonna happen. So I started thinking of what can happen out there. Now going into the situation of me moving out in my vehicle. So I've been wanting to move out since the get-go, bruh. Since the beginning. I can't remember when, way before I was 18. But a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of stuff has been happening. And these instances of our falling outs have just increased the sensation of I need to go. Or worse shit is gonna happen. But in that job, I got a week and 5 days afterwards I got fired, wasn't giving me enough money to even register my car. So that's why I was taking lifts in and out of the job constantly. My car, the one I needed to register, was also really busted. So since I needed to move out, I started going bad. Oop, no bad words on this account. I started going insane because I was continually being mentally raped in my mind with me not knowing what's wrong and right. Because I still had the control to not go past the limit and hurt someone. But that stability was vanishing. Every single little bit it was being chipped at by the same people telling me I was wrong about everything. Everything. Nothing that I did was ever right. So obviously I needed to go. But since my car wasn't fixed and I had nothing, not even money to pay rent anywhere else, I had nothing. If I was going to go out there, I was going to start from literal scratch. So I started thinking of what can happen. The negative. So first of all, the problem with me starting from scratch, literal scratch, was that it was going to take years for me to get to the point where I was going to be able to have a house, car, stable income. All of that was going to take years. And I understand the ideal of no matter how long it takes, help yourself first. I've met people, I know people who are going through, I'm gonna say worse. I can't just let them go. I can't just focus on myself and just forget about them. I understand I have to help myself. That's why I was going to do the music. It was going to be the fastest way I was going to get somewhere to then help everybody else. And everything I do now, every other source of income, which right now, because of the shutdown, would have been something like fast food or a quick job. Because I've been trying to work at Chili's, bruh. Chili's, please hit me up, bruh. But it's so hard to get something that actually pays better than minimum wage. Especially now. It may not be as hard to get a job, but a good paying job? And I already tried going to college. I was going to do sound engineering. And if not that, I would have gone into therapy. But especially now, whenever I say something, I don't want to say it for somebody to feel bad. I want somebody to look at me and see how they could become stronger. My mind doesn't work easily. And now I'm going to go into detail about what I just said right now. Since the beginning, from when I could remember, I would always ask why. Why weren't people so happy? I always thought so deep into everything I did. Because if there wasn't a reason for me to do so, I always questioned it and then didn't want to do it. And it was hard. There wasn't, not a detailed, okay, yes, actually a detailed reason to the why so that I could understand life a little bit more. So I can keep going. I got bored and it wasn't the type of bored like, oh, I don't want to do this. I would force myself to do things. But if I didn't have a reason to, and I didn't understand more in depth, a little bit more the why, I would mess up, screw up, and then get upon myself like harshly. I will beat myself up in my mind, and I actually still do that. Without my decision, I do that. You telling me, don't do it. No, it's not that easy. Example. I recently lost my first album I created. All the lyrics are gone. I didn't create the music yet, but the lyrics were... So the album, the lyrics, they all vanished. And I've created a lot more music. I've created a whole entire albums that are unfinished, but that one was completely finished, and it was going to be my biggest project after what I was going to do on YouTube recently. And losing it was my biggest breaking point. Because if anything, how it got lost was probably something that I did stupidly, accidentally. Nobody could have gotten into my Google Drive without me verifying it or anything else. Now I have more control over when I make mistakes, but I still the part of me I can't control takes over, and I just hurt even more. So, androids. Tying that ideal of if there's no reason for me to do something, it's like I don't have my full heart into it. Tying that into school. For school, I had to take prerequisites to then do what I actually wanted to do. And the same for therapy, if I was going to be a therapist. For sound engineering, the prerequisites first were, I can't even remember. But also, as well, I know now, especially now, since my mind goes so fast, I need to do things one at a time. Taking a class one at a time until I finish each one, then going to the next, would take years upon years of time wasted that I could be using to help you. And I know I have to help myself, but I can't stop thinking about you. Now that I explained all of that, and now I'm gonna go back into my insanity. Because my mind would think so fast, I would think too much into every single little thing. Started thinking the possibilities of what can happen and what can't happen, the rights and wrongs and what could have hurt me. The problem with that was I let everything that others would consider fearful consume me. I let the fear eat me up. This was after the second biggest falling out that I had with these people because I needed to go. The possibilities that I might die in every single little way because I had to start from scratch. I had nothing. Ate me up past my core. And they were still telling me I was wrong about everything. Oh my gosh. So, going back into my insanity, this all ties into this story of me being where I am now, where I'm leaving and I have my car and I don't know if to say things maybe getting better because I don't know the possibilities. The government is really messed up right now. I've definitely gotten better because now I'm not scared of anything anymore. What makes sense to be scared? It's good to know what may hurt you, what may stop you from moving forward. But from my life, from what I've lived, especially recently, being afraid, the fear only hinders you from doing what you believe you can't do. What may help you move forward may help you. Not everything will help you. Okay, so now, this part, whoo. Oh, you know what? Before I get into that part, oh my gosh. Before I get into that part, I'm going to tell a quick story about something that happened with me in the job I got a week and 5 days afterwards of the place I got fired in. And it's involving Lyft. So, the Lyft company. I'm not bashing the Lyft company. This is a story that happened with a Lyft driver. That's another thing. So, people look at things and they're like, that's wrong. I'm trying to help people look more into detail into everything. Assumptions and judgment. Say I see you and you have brown eyes or blue eyes. Did I not just make an assumption and judgment of you? I believe it's the assumption or judgment.
So, first, because of everything that had happened to me in 2019 and some of 2018, I was already on the fritz about trusting people. 2020 just like increasing that distrust. I was coming home from work, taking a Lyft, and I never had problems with Lyft at all. Like, at all. And this guy, he's like the Spanish guy that doesn't speak any English at all. I go into the car and I already get the vibe. You know, the vibe.
And I'm like, uh-oh. I'm allowed to say this. I'm bisexual, and I used to be gay as fuck, so He starts calling me papi, like a lot. I got the vibe because when I got in the car, he looked at me like this. So, just kidding. Just kidding. Damn, I'm black as fuck. Wait. Shadow? No shadow. Just buy an iPhone. Just do it, bruh. So I get into the lift and we don't start driving fast yet. We go really slow and he speaks in Spanish. I can speak Spanish. I'm Dominican. Just kidding. I could speak Spanish because I want to learn more of my own culture. That's why I could speak Spanish. And he asks me, can I leave some drinks off at this place? And I tell him, yeah, as long as it's to the location to where I stay at. He tells me the Lyft driver, he forgot to drop it off another day. And again, I was like, as long as it's to the location, like going to where I live, and I don't have to get out of the car, and it's not nowhere like sketchy going through where I live, we good. So we start talking, friendly talk. We're not even any like miles or anything away from my job. We're still very close. I start getting kind of paranoid because of everything that has happened. And as I said before, you guys know my mind. But that was at that time. I'm much better now. We turn and I ask him, can I see the location? When I asked the Lyft driver to show me the location, yes? To show me the location, he was really hesitant to show me. Like, I almost said it again. Just show me the location. After the 6th time and us turning the opposite way to where I was staying at, I was like, excuse me. Just kidding. I didn't make a big deal because I didn't know if this dude was crazy. And I didn't want either of us to get hurt. So I said it again. I looked over and saw that it was in 434. Right now I'm staying in Oviedo. The job where I stayed at was in Valencia. All of y'all don't know where any of that is. So basically, we were not going anywhere near to where I was staying at. And I'm not stupid, bruh. Maybe he wanted to have sex or shit. First of all, I could go in depth into my sex life and how... Oh, that's... But I had gone through so much stuff that even if he just wanted to do that, that was a possibility. And that, like, we went to wherever he was going to take me. He's like, can we do this? I would have said, no. 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 Because I don't trust people. So again, 6 times I asked him to stop the car. We turned, but the building where I worked at was right there. After the 6th time he stopped, I opened the car, went to the work, and was kind of freaked out. At the time, I was like, that same time I went upstairs into my job, and there was like this abandoned room, which was actually really fun. I stayed there and was shaking. The only reason I was scared at this point, I was at the point where I was ready to, at that point, not now. Now I'm much better. Trust me. Right now I am much better in my mental state because I'm leaving these people. Like, I'm gone. But at that time, it was really bad. I was ready to hurt anyone that was willing to hurt me in any way possible because I was done being hurt. I was fed up, bruh. So I didn't want to hurt him. And if he hurt me, that was also a possibility.
It's just that I didn't know what could happen. That's why I was so worried to what could happen next.
Good morning. I went to sleep, knocked out, and back. Oh my god. So done with the story of Lyft. Now my journey into psychedelics. I'm not saying ever to do these drugs, but I started smoking when I was 18. I was really depressed in my life, and I it didn't matter what happened to me. I didn't know what weed could have done, but since I didn't matter what happened to me, it was like I was not gonna lose anything. Even though, of course, consciously knowing that bad stuff was gonna happen if I did die or something, but I didn't die. So again, not saying to ever do these, but smoking that green. I've been smoking for like 2 years, actually three, going upon now, because I started when I was 18. Nothing has happened. The only negative thing that has happened was with the people that don't like it, which was nobody else around me, but the people I was staying with. So the years has passed, and right now, especially at this point in my life, like I wouldn't do anything other than alcohol, because both alcohol and marijuana are like get together drugs for me, as I see it. Everything else, in that everything else, I did try acid. My first trip in those type of psychedelics was amazing. Again, not saying to ever do these drugs, just telling my story of what happened at the beginning of 2020 all the way till now. So my first trip, I had a trip sitter. Again, not saying to do these drugs, because this is a child-friendly server. But it was very eye-opening, very uplifting. The entire trip, I was like moving through time 50 miles an hour. Like I was growing up and still going along with time at the same speed. In my mind, that's what I meant to say. In my mind, I was growing that extra speed, but my body in physical time was still saying the same. That was my first trip in 2019, somewhere in the middle, or yeah, somewhere at the beginning. And throughout all of that spare time, I was smoking marijuana. Not saying to ever do those drugs. But then, going upon my story, my second trip. Now, again, not saying to ever do these drugs. And recapping my story, I went to school in 2020. It didn't help me at all. I had a falling out during school with the people I'm staying with, so then I needed a job. I got the job during spring break, and we went on spring break and never came back. The month I was in the job, after spring break and all that happened, the shutdown, because Corona was still here before the shutdown, I found out, and the people I was with in my firm, that this job was a scam. They were taking the money we were making that they told us they were giving us. So I got fired because a whole story. Look back into my TikToks, you can see it. And I got a job a week and 5 days afterwards, which was just another sketchy ass call center. Okay. In the other sketchy ass call center, the other call center was giving me the same amount of money as the other call center, but it was still sketchy, just not as sketchy. I had a falling out, another one, with the people I was staying with, which I knew I had to go. I knew I had to go beforehand, but this just increased it. And that's when I truly started going insane because of all the possibilities I thought of could happen if I just left, because I have nothing, no income. I mean, I have an income. I'm working at McDonald's right now. Oh my god. But it's nothing that I could really use to pay rent or get somewhere where I want to be without having to be at McDonald's for years before I get where I want to be to help other people. So thinking of all the negatives that could have happened at that moment consumed me. And then I think the acid trip happened. Because if this is not as confusing, first it was that I got fired from the last firm that scammed us, and then I got the job, second sketchy call center, a week and 5 days afterwards. During that time I was in the call center, I had another falling out. I started going insane because I needed to think of a way to go, and I started thinking of all the negatives and how they could hurt me. That was a big problem, of how they could hurt me. Then the story of the lift happened, and then the acid trip. The second trip started like this. So I had a trip sitter for about 10 minutes. Now, if this beautiful queen sees this, I promise you, bruh, she just left. And I realize now that her leaving wasn't the issue. The issue is that I wasn't okay. I wasn't okay in my mental stability because of the people that I was staying with. So, me on the trip, after she left, I came inside my house. I came inside the place where I was staying in. I was so paranoid in myself of what could have happened even if I just stayed in my room. Which, if I just stayed in my room, nothing was gonna happen. I should have just listened to Jhené Aiko and calmed the down. But I wasn't calm because I needed to leave. So the trip started with the wall of my roof, this exact same wall. You see the little dots up there? It was like as if it was sinking down on me, deep, as if it was ready to not allow me to breathe, just because I was so worried of what could have happened negatively, that I had no control over. So it started with me being in my room, getting paranoid, literally just because of where I was staying at. No, not because of where I was staying at, but the people I was staying with. I started going around trying to get myself to calm down. I went outside, walked my dog, came back inside, tried to listen to music, breathe in and out. But my heart started palpitating inside my chest like the Hulk beating down on Thor. All because I was just so paranoid of what could have happened if the people I was staying with, one main person, came into my room and saw me. Which, if I just calmed down, that wasn't even gonna happen. I ended up walking to the person, that main person I'm talking about, and asking him for help, screaming, like going crazy because of the negative possibilities. For 2 hours. And then after the 2 hours, I finally calmed down. I ended up FaceTiming with that same trip sitter girl to calm me down. After FaceTiming that same girl, I kind of calmed down just because I can't go too much into depth into why I actually got most paranoid, that main reason for. It wasn't only that the people I was staying with, but the girl leaving, I wanted to make sure she was okay. I didn't think she was going to be okay because I wasn't okay. I definitely ended up telling the people I was staying with that I was on the trip. I ended up going actually to a funeral because the main guy, he had to go to a funeral. And we really connected. Like, I actually let all my anger and emotion out, all my frustration. I let everything go. I felt love, and it was only 2 hours. The trip was still going on for like 8 more hours. And the other 8 hours, I just kept living. Starting upon the fact, all because I couldn't just calm down. And after the trip, I was really about to start, I was gonna stay here. I was gonna stay here and then build our relationship back up. But then I realized that was gonna take too long because they have also so much pain. And I'm not only trying to help the people that I'm staying with, I'm trying to help the world. And also help myself. And I realized I could be helping them, but I still needed to, like, be comfortable by my own house, by my own car, do my own thing, and not rely on anybody else. Because I am a king. And they were going to be stuck in their old ways. So I needed to go. I've been needing to go. After that, it was just a continuous beating down upon my mind and saying that I was wrong again and again. All right, so if you guys help me with my GoFundMe, I'm actually gonna post a draft I just made of part 25. But back to the story, I was just taking the mental abuse or whatever that I felt I was taking. Because, again, there's so many rights and wrongs. What's actually right and wrong? I may consider something to be wrong, and you may consider it to be right. Who's right? Who's wrong? But anyways, I switched my jobs and started working at McDonald's because the call center wasn't giving me anything. And I finally got my tax money back, and I insured the car, and I fixed it up a little bit. And now I'm at this point in my life. This point in my life, right now I just need to go at this point because there's so much more stuff that happened, but I have nothing here, nothing at all. And if you don't understand this, then think a little bit more in depth. If I stay here any longer, I'm going to have less than the nothing that I already have. And after this, there's going to be one more part to the story, and then I'm finally done. Remember to always breathe. Please. The reason now that I'm going to do van living, I'm going to do van living because I first saw van living from this really popular YouTuber. She actually, van living was already a thing, but she made it really as popular as it's popularized now. I'll post her name in the not comment, but yeah. And I thought, oh, my Jeep would actually be, if I fixed it up, it would be a perfect place to live. I don't need a house to say that it's my home. I consider what I want to be my home. If I wanted to be homeless on the streets naked, in the woods, living as that type of person, I can go ahead and do that. And that's what I've been stuck on, me doing my van living. But then, the person I was staying with have made it kind of impossible. So, the person one, which is the main person I talk about in the films on my YouTube channel that I haven't posted yet, they would do this. Continually be like, let's make a deal. And then when sometimes I made my own decision, or he got the littlest bit of angry, he will switch it so that it hurts me more and benefits him. For example, one example, which is the example why I'm leaving as soon as possible, and I need your help. He continually will say with this deal that he would want to be nice and tell me, save my money if I could fix my car. And then when he would get mad, he would be like, no, now you have to pay me for rent for all this time that you've been here. But then he would tell me again, save your money. It was back and forth, and whenever he got angry, it was to his favor. Recently, I fixed my car a little bit, and he got angry again. The last time, which was recently, he got angry because I said it was a possibility for him to hurt me. Which I've said that a million of times. I don't know what, oh my gosh. He got angry for me saying it's a possibility, not that I was getting at him for anything. What the? So he told me for my next check that all my money for my next check is gonna have to go to him. I wouldn't even have enough money to pay gas money for myself. Not even enough money for me to pay for my antifreeze or motor oil or air pressure for my tires. So then I would have been fired from my job because I would have had no transportation for even be able to buy Lyft. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? He's put me in this impossible situation that I'm leaving. The reason that I need your help is because I don't want to be working in McDonald's for years upon end. So again, when I say that he said all my money for my next check, Every single little dime. I tried to explain to him what money was I gonna have for gas money, Lyft, oh no, not Lyft, I have my car, gas money, air pressure money, motor oil money, and antifreeze, which both of those, antifreeze and my motor oil in my car, are actually broken. They're leaking. He said he doesn't care. He said bluntly that he doesn't care. And I don't want to get to the point of me being where Britney Spears is at, where she's like a slave. She can't do anything with her life. And I'm trying to do so much more. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Also, for the GoFundMe, the extra $5,000 for the $55,000, the $5,000 I will obviously give to him so that he can shut the. What up, bitch? My question of the day is, why do I feel less more and more after every instance I get hurt, and yet still want to feel? You know what that sounds like? A depressed ass Super Saiyan. What up, bitches? My question of the day is... Mr. D, can you shut up? Excuse me? Why try over? Oh my gosh, and over. Oh my gosh. To change someone's mind if they're not going to change. What? Why constantly stress over a mistake you can't fix? What's up? The question of the question of the day is, what is the meaning of life if I'm just going to die? Oh? What's up, y'all? That's it. That was my entire project that I posted on TikTok. Instead of hoping that you like it, I hope you like it, but more, I hope you get something out of it. I hope you want to learn, or not learn, but have the strive to want to learn, to want to get smarter, so that you can get stronger in whatever you do in life. But in saying that, I do need help. So it's help me live, please. Help me live, comma, please. Period. It's funny because I'm actually posting all of these backwards. First, I'm posting controversy, or I posted controversy. Then I'm posting this, my TikTok story. I don't know what to call it yet. I guess I'm gonna call it my TikTok story. Then I'm gonna be posting my first time in space. Well, not mine, but Mobius and Mr. D's. After those 3 videos, the next thing I'll be posting will be my movies. My big projects. which I don't even, at this point, I really don't think they're that good. I don't think they're actually good at all. I work so hard on those projects, I'm not just gonna throw them away. So, things are upon foot. After that, if my GoFundMe is blasted and something's made out of it, then I'm gonna be working on my music. But everything is a slow process. So, thank you for watching until the end. Like, seriously, I really appreciate it. That's it.